Welcome back to Top 10 Tuesdays, everyone. D Bougie 86 here again. And this week, me and my peeps are doing our top 10 favorite Spanish related horror films. Which that means is pretty much like films either from Spain themselves or like Spanish language descent films. Like from Mexico, Argentina, Chile, any other of the surrounding countries that speak Spanish. Before I get into this list, this is a personal top 10 list. So if any of your favorite Spanish horror films aren't on it, it's all good in the hood. Plus, there's one director's work that really won't be on this list. I just want to give a side note. There won't be no Guillermo del Toro films on this list. I do own a few of his films, but they're mostly his non-horror stuff. I do want to pick up. I do love Kronos and Devil's Backbone. I watched those numerous times on TV and shit. I just never got around to collecting them and picking those ones up. But I own a few of his like non-horror films, like Pacific Rim and Hellboys. I really do enjoy those too. He's a very interesting director. Pan's Labyrinth's another one. So, with that being said, if you don't see any of his films on this list, there's reasons for it, and just to know, I do love his films. Alright, so let's just get into this list now. At number 10, we have The Bloodsplattered Bride. This is a very interesting take on vampirism from film from the 70s, where this young couple just got married. They end up going to the husband's childhood home, and then they end up finding like this woman in the sand. Pretty much, she's like covered her head's like heads out of the sand, and they dig her up, bring her home, and some weird shit starts happening during the course of the rest of the film. A very interesting, like atmospheric, slow burn. But it has a lot of like lesbianic messages, and it also has some crazy early 70s muff, I might add. Yeah, very like stylish and atmospheric. If you haven't seen The Bloodsplattered Bride yet, I highly recommend it. I actually reviewed this on my 31 Days of Horror. Awesome flick. So number 10. Number 9, we have Sleep Tight, of course, from the director of Wreck. This film is a very interesting take on voyeurism about this guy who runs this apartment complex. He's like the janitor. That's the way I would describe it. And he likes to see making people unhappy. He tries to make it a living hell for a particular woman in this apartment complex. And it very follows her and him and his situation of being a voyeur. Really cool film, and I really love how this one ends. If you haven't seen Sleep Tight, I highly recommend it. Awesome flick right there, number 9. Number 8 is Shiver, which is a fucking really cool atmospheric film about it actually stars the boy from The Devil's Backbone, the Guillermo del Toro film, and his character in the film has like this sun allergy. So him and his mom moved to like this rural countryside town away from the city to try to recluse, because it's kind of like the area where they live is shady for his needs. And a lot of interesting things start to happen, like people start to go missing, and the village is kind of led to blame him in a way. Really cool film. I really like the atmosphere of this one and how it goes down. If you haven't seen Sheva yet, highly recommend it. Awesome film right there. That's at number 8. Number 7, we have Who Can Kill a Child. Really awesome killer kid film. If you haven't seen this yet, highly recommend this release from Dark Sky Films. It's about like this couple like on vacation. They go to this small secluded island town, and they find out it's deserted, but they start finding kids on the island, and then shit goes down after that. Shit, really brutal film to watch. Really cool Kill a Kid film. If you haven't seen Who Can Kill a Child, highly recommend that. It's at number 7. Number 6, we have Memory of the Dead. This is a really cool take about like this guy dies in the beginning and his wife actually plans like this seance in the house where she brings like his closest friends over, the people he loved pretty much, and then like a lot of like demonic shit starts happening in the house. Really love the story and how it goes. It kind of has like some dark humor to it. Really like the ending of this one. It really made put a smile on my face how it ended. Really cool fucking movie right here, Memory of the Dead. Love the atmosphere. A lot of cool like Spanish films have a lot of atmosphere, I've noticed. That's at number 6. Yeah, number 6. Number 5, we have We Are What We Are, which is a really, really interesting take on cannibalism, where in the beginning, these two kids lose their father, and they live with their mother, and they try to cope with that, and a lot of other shit starts happening. It's kind of like a mystery where you jumble the story together, and you find out like there might be people start going missing, and there's like investigation going on, and really cool take on the cannibal film. I know the American remake, actually, I do actually enjoy that one also. It actually swaps like the genders, sorry, can't talk today, of certain characters, which really brings like a twist into the story. Really cool film. I highly recommend you check out the original We Are What We Are, though. Awesome shit right there. Number 5. Yep, number 5. Number 4, we have Time Crimes, which technically not really a horror film. It has its thriller elements to it, but it has a lot of science fiction elements to it too, because it does involve time travel, and it's a fucking beautiful film, and it's well shot. I really like the score of this one. It's very eerie and creeps on you. I really like how this film goes down. It's a really, really deep and emotional, beautifully shot science fiction thriller type film. Very dark. Really like how this film ends. Really cool film. If you haven't seen Time Crimes yet, really fucking awesome film. That's at number 4. Number 3, we have a film from the late 50s, actually. That's The Black Pit of Dr. M. This was actually recommended to me by a few people in the past, and I finally checked it out, and I really love this one. It's really gothic, atmospheric setting, and I really love the story about like this doctor that works in this insane asylum who's trying to like, I don't really want to ruin it for you because it's an experience of the film, but it has to do with like life and death, this film. And it's really complex, and I really like the characters and the story and how it goes down. Gorgeous, like black and white film. I really recommend you if you haven't checked out The Black Pit of Dr. M. Fucking awesome film. That's at number 3. Number 2, we have a film from Chile, which I actually also reviewed on my 31 Days of Horror. The first time I ever watched it, and that is Hidden in the Woods. Fucking awesome film. If you haven't seen this yet, it's just a fucking crazy, bizarre fucking movie. It has involving like these two girls with their father who has like who's a piece of shit, I might add. If you haven't seen this film yet, I don't want to really ruin what happens. And they go off. He's like a drug holder, and they end up leaving because there's a standoff with the police, and they take like their half mongoloid brother. He's actually like a mutant mongoloid, and they go in the woods and they try to survive on their own pretty much. Really fucking awesome movie. I highly recommend. If you haven't checked out Hidden in the Woods yet, go out and grab it. Great release from Artsploitation with some cool special features, and it has a lot of kick to it. Awesome shit at number 2. And at number 1, we have, I could have put any of these 4 films, but I decided to just take out the first one, and that is Tombs of the Blind Dead, of course. by Armando Desaro, his first in his Blind Dead saga. Really great film. I love the look of the Templar Knights. They're just fucking amazing. The score is very airy and dark and has a doom-like sound to it, and I love how when the Templar Knights attack their victims, really cool stuff. If you haven't seen any of the Blind Dead films, I highly recommend you grab that box set from Blue Underground. Excellent stuff right there. If you haven't seen it, def check them all out. Awesome shit. Alright guys, that's it for my list. I hope you enjoyed it. As always, check out a few of the other guys' lists when they can post it. A few recommendations that I haven't shown in this list that I also like is like Night of the Bloody Apes is a good one. That's a Mexican horror film from about like has a lot of crazy shit in it too, like with female wrestling in Mexico. Alicata, which is another one I actually just checked out a few weeks ago, which I really enjoyed, which is like a satanic possession film. Really awesome. The Wreck films I really like too. I have to revisit those. I only watched them like once, and I had to see like part 4 still. Really like that series. There's a bunch of them. The Last Circus, which I don't own. I want to revisit it, so I might be picking up a copy of that up. Foreshadow. Witchin' and Bitchin', which I seen on Netflix. I don't own it. It's really cool. Highly recommend that one. And there's a bunch of other ones that I can't come off the top of my head. Of course, Guillermo del Toro's Kronos and The Devil's Backbone, classics in Spanish horror. Really a lot of good Spanish horror that's not talked about. Another one that I actually liked also that just came to my mind is House at the End of Time. Really cool blind watch. I wanted to pick up a copy of that too. I rented that one also. So that's it for this list, guys. I hope you enjoyed it, and as always, check out some Spanish horror, especially this top 10 and the few that I also recommend in there at the end. As always, I'll see you next Tuesday. Peace out.